I think they're overreacting, quite frankly. Go debate all you want to. I'm going to debate you. Trust me, I'm going to let people know that at this moment in time, to play this game with a War Powers Act, which I think is unconstitutional, is that whether you mean to or not, you're empowering the enemy. I know you don't mean to, but we live in the real world here. So debate all you want. This is a constitutional democracy, but get ready for a lively debate.
And I think he's right. It felt like histrionics from especially from Mike Lee coming out of there. Okay, well, tell us really what the problem is. Is the president not supposed to be able to take action? I mean, why does Congress do this thing where they're giving, it's like they're consenting to the broad authority the president has to do whatever he or she theoretically thinks needs to be done in this region or for our national security, and then they complain when the president uses that authority. Well, then what have you done in the first place? You know, to say that the authorization for the use of military force does not cover things like this would be to say that our military forces deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan cannot be defended at the discretion of the commander-in-chief because it might upset some particularly non-interventionist members of Congress. That's just not going to work. Lindsey Graham, who I agree with sometimes, I don't agree with others, is willing to say, look, I'm not even sure that the Congress has the authority, really. I mean, this is a core separation of powers issue. If the president says we're under attack, and the Congress says, no, you have to ask us for, I mean, Congress has the power of the purse. Congress could defund the military, right? I mean, there are things that could be done. But do they get to tell the president what to do? This also reminds me of how, and we're going to talk about the border wall construction situation later and how that's stuck in the courts. You hear people say things, you know, they'll say that Trump is an anti-Semite, for example. And then you look at how, I'm pretty sure there's like a town that's named after Trump in Israel, and there's also the moving of the embassy that president after president said they do, then they all got cold feet on it. And Trump did that, which was clearly what the Israeli government wanted him to do. Trump does not speak ill of the Israelis' defense of themselves and their interests. And Trump understands the Israelis are the good guys, Hamas are the bad guys. It's pretty straightforward. Doesn't mean that all Palestinians are bad people, but Hamas are the bad guys. Obama was more, Hamas is a reflection of oppressed people, that Israel, the settlements. He had that faculty lounge leftist. Okay, I'm pro-Israel as long as I can get enough donations to be president of America, but I'm not really pro-Israel when it comes to what's going on in that region of the world, or not as much as my predecessors had been, and certainly the follow-on presidency of Trump is. But, you look at the separation. I mean, you look at the way that Trump has been willing to go to the courts, hear from Congress on these issues. If he's an anti-Semite, he's terrible at it, as seen by moving the embassy. And if he's an authoritarian, which is another thing you keep hearing, and, we need to constrain Trump. This is a narrative out of nothing. Did you see that? Did they pay attention to the speech Trump gave yesterday? It was a very measured, reasonable, entirely responsible speech. Here's really the problem a lot of them have with this. Trump showed what actual courage when it comes to the commander-in-chief is. Making a decision that your predecessors were not willing to make because you know that it's the right thing to do. And it is a risk, but it's a risk that you want to take under the circumstances. That is what an executive does. These other people in Congress, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the Mike Lee's, they're politicians. They want to convince you they're always doing the right thing. They're always doing what you want. And you know what ends up happening? They do nothing. Just a lot of blather, a lot of bap, 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 bap. That's what you get from them. So, yeah, it might sound fancy, but it doesn't get us very far.